Spurs Bros, welcome into episode 38 of the Spurs Bros podcast. One day after the draft, Alex Stewart and I are here, and we are excited about the Spurs draft haul. With the second pick, we took Dylan Harper. With the 14th pick, we took Carter Bryant out of Arizona. We could not be happier about who we got in this year's draft. A lot of stuff to go through, especially about Carter Bryant. He was a little bit less known to a lot of people. We weren't really sure who was going to get selected with that 14th pick. So running through his highlights, his attributes, what we can expect from him in his first season. Aside from that, it's now clear the Spurs have a big need at backup center. Free agency starts on Monday, summer league around the corner. Happy times, exciting times in the NBA and in San Antonio and Spurs Nation. So tune into episode 38. If you're listening right now, please go click subscribe. We're just a few away from 500 subscribers. Like this video, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about the Spurs draft and who we should target free agency. Without further ado, episode 38 begins right now.
Spurs Bros! Welcome in to episode number 38 of the Spurs Bros podcast. I'm your host, Alec, and I got my colleague, Stuart Lynch, in person with me. Finally, we did an in-person pod with Stu and Reagan Keogh on the line. Let's get it. How are we doing tonight, fellas? We doing good?
Doing great.
After last night's draft, are we all in agreement that we give ourselves an A+, or how are you feeling, Stu?
A+.
A plus, baby. A plus.
Not be.
We nailed it. The Spurs are back. The race for Sace is on.
It's on.
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Not quite yet. 219-year-old. What have we been saying all? I don't know. Now all of a sudden we knew we were getting Harper this whole time, but then all of a sudden we get Carter Bryant. Now he's the one. Race for Sace is back. No. It's not Russia yet. Come on. We're all excited.
Yeah.
Great draft, but not yet.
Yes.
I've been watching a lot of Carter Bryant tape, and that man has me hyped.
Yes, sir. So Spurs Bros, yes, in case you didn't see, we did the expected. Not the unexpected. We did the expected as an organization.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk leading up to the draft that we may make a move at number 2, trade it back, get some players, future draft capital, whatever it may be. We did not do that. We stayed and we drafted the man who was supposed to be the second most talented player in the draft, which was Dylan Harper. And Spurs organization's happy about it. It looked like Dylan Harper and his fan was happy about it. So there was really no real surprise there. Then at 14, it just really opened up. We were like, okay, well, we don't know what's going to happen after 2, really.
Yeah.
And so there was a couple of surprises. I mean, Reagan, do you want to kind of break down what happened basically after 2?
Well, the first thing that happened right before the draft, the Spurs made the first trade of draft night, if you will, with any picks involved, by sending away pick 38. So there's all this debate about trading 2 and 14, but they sent away 38. They said, we don't want any part of the second round. Don't worry about it. Punt that to next year. But yeah, man, the surprise, I think, first surprise, at least of the draft, was Ace Bailey sliding.
Yes.
Everybody thought Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper were the dynamic duo that were going to go, Harper second, Bailey third. But then you started hearing some rumblings over the last week that Bailey's camp was doing some weird stuff. He was the only prospect from America to not do a workout for a team. Just some weird things, probably turned a couple of teams off. So Philly surprises not everybody, but a lot of people by going BJ Edgecombe out of Baylor, which he's a stud. I mean, he was another 5-star recruit. Top of this draft was absolutely loaded. But yeah, that was the first big surprise for everybody. And then follow that up at number 4, Duke shirt Stuart Knipple goes 4 to the Charlotte Hornets.
See, people didn't see that coming. I guess a few people had that as maybe a prediction, but I don't think many people did.
I like the pick. That might be the first time Charlotte, worst in history, always making the bad moves, going for guys who don't fit, whatever. That was like maybe the best move they've made in a hot minute. They took Brandon Ingram, didn't care about his college past, all that. LaMelo, he is who he is. We don't think he'll ever be a winner.
Brandon Miller.
Baller for sure. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, he's going to fit honestly real good in there. I don't see he'll probably be a starter. If not right off the bench, he'll get a lot of open looks with all the eyes on LaMelo.
Yep.
And I liked it for him. Good for Con.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick there. And then Bailey went 5 to a team where Bailey had said, "I don't want to go there."
I want to go.
He said, "Don't pick me. I want nothing to do with Utah." And we know
Yeah.
what Danny Ainge and apparently his son is, chip off the old block. And they said, "No, no, no, come on down.
I do
Salt
not
Lake, here
hear.
you come."
Crazy.
That's what we were saying. I was like, Ace Bailey's very like flashy, loud. He's all the things. He's very much, New York and all that stuff. And it turns out he's going to go to the place that's
playing in
complete
Salt Lake
opposite.
City, Utah.
Yeah, which is like
Yeah.
mountains and
Quiet. There's no nightlife there.
Yeah, not a bar in sight.
Might not be his cup of tea, but right after the draft first press conference, he even said, I told him I didn't want to play there, and they still took me anyway. So, well, you're openly saying that, buddy. So, I mean, we'll
It's going
see.
to be chaotic.
We'll see what happens, but whatever does happen, you've put it all on yourself. So, if you ruin a multi-year career and hundreds of millions of dollars, it's on you.
After Ace Bailey goes to Utah, a couple picks went probably as expected with Trey Johnson, Alex Boyd going to the Wizards. Wizards are kind of filling out their roster kind of nice. They've got Middleton and Smart as some vets, with CJ McCollum joining in now after the trade from the Pelicans. And they've got this young talent with Johnson and Sarr and Koulibaly. They've got a nice little squad. Yeah. And then Jeremiah Fears goes to New Orleans at 7, which some people were surprised by, questions about shooting, but he's got some handle. But I think the biggest shock after that was Igor Demon from BYU going to Brooklyn Nets at the 8th pick. I think this was something we were worried about picking at 14.
Yeah, right. They probably could have gone him with their 19th pick, honestly. He used to be mocked that high last year, and then this past year at BYU, he kind of fell off. He was getting a lot of assists in college. I think he led the nation in assists. But, in today's NBA, what do we say all the time? If you can't shoot, you can't score, can't create your own shot, you're kind of useless. They probably could have got him at 19, snagged him at 8, missed out on some talent there, still on the board.
Well, that was a head scratcher.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it was around that time where people in the Spurs media were starting to say, like, hey, well, if this guy went this early and this guy went this early, then other people are starting to fall. And so that's where it started to get interesting.
Started to open up some stuff for us. And then you see Colin Murray Boyles go at 9 to the Raptors. Yep. This is when I texted you guys like, hey, bro, Malawach is still here at 10 to the Suns. And if he doesn't go to Phoenix, he could get left for us to take at 14, Malawach, which would have been an insane get.
Top in the draft and the top guard? Come on.
That would have been crazy. Crazy. That would have been an A+. But the Suns picked Malawach at 10. Cedric Coward goes to the Blazers at 11 with Noah Esenge to Chicago at 12. Esenge was another guy that had been mocked frequently to San Antonio. How do y'all feel about missing out on Esenge? Or is that somebody, I know we had talked about him here and there, and like he left his German team in the playoffs, which was okayed by the team, but like final thoughts on Esenge going a little bit ahead of us?
I mean, as soon as we picked Carter Bryant, I'm like, thank God we got Carter Bryant instead of Noah Esenge. I mean, I'm sure he's going to have a pretty darn good career if he continues to progress the way that, he should. Again, very raw, long. He's got a lot of high upside, right?
High upside.
But I'm not tripping about it. I'm really not tripping about it, given what we know now about Carter Bryant. I mean, before the draft, we'd done pre-research into Carter Bryant. I knew exactly, the type of player that he was, but I didn't know how versatile he was, right? I mean, some of these guys were given statistics, and he was like 1 of 6 players with this many blocks and steals and this and that. I like that way better than Noah. So I'm not tripping about it. Yeah.
Then the biggest mistake of the draft, I think consensus was the Pelicans moving up from 23 to 13 in a trade with Atlanta to go get Derek Queen from Maryland, which was another guy that was mocked to the Spurs. But they moved up 10 spots. And how did they do that? By giving up their 2026 unprotected first-round pick. Unprotected. The Pelicans, who won 21 games last season, gave up their unprotected first-round pick for next season. They are banking that DeJounte Murray and Zion and Trey Murphy and Herb Jones, all of which who had basically season-ending injuries last year, are going to be healthy and coherent and congruent together and can go win enough games to get them probably like a top 6 or 7 seed. Anything less than that is a total fail and a total miss on this trade.
Honestly, even like losing the first round, because that's still like a 15 through 17. Like you better be making it to the second round next year where that pick is 20 plus, because that's crazy haul. And what we say right before we started filming this, we were like, dude, we fleeced Atlanta a couple years now. They're fleecing people. And you saw it today, like Bill Simmons, Pod, and all that. Like you said, oh, dude, Atlanta was probably had their shirts off celebrating.
Yeah.
13 to drop 10 space for unprotected. Like you're in the West, buddy. Do you know how tough the West is?
Yeah.
Like even if y'all are fully healthy next year, y'all could still be the 10th, 11th, 12th seed.
Yep.
Craziness that they
and people are talking about 26 as stacked as deep as 25 draft is. They're saying 26 could be even nicer.
Especially now we're seeing the last couple of years, Atlanta had 2% chance to get the number one pick. Dallas had 1.8 this year. If you just make into that lottery, boom, you get AJ next year.
We jumped up 6 spots. Yeah. Anything can happen. And like really quick, before we get to Carter Bryant, those Hawks picks that we have, the 26 swap, the 27 unprotected, and the 28 swap, those are no longer looking as valuable as they were a few months ago, because they've gone and they've traded away. They've traded for Kristaps Porzingis from the Celtics, so that gives them a nice addition to Clint Capella at their center spot, beefs up their front line rotation, and then they've got this 26 pick. They're all in. They're expecting Jalen Johnson to be back. They've got a $24 million trade exception, mid-level trade exception this summer to go get a really nice piece. And with Halliburton and Tatum and Lillard all down in the East, it's really going to be them, the Cavs, and
Magic.
Yeah, the Magic. I mean,
right
those
now,
are kind
Knicks
of the
should be back. But I mean, yeah,
Knicks. You think?
They could easily be like the 4 or 5 seed and win a shotgun.
Easy top 4 seed if things break their way, which is tough for us.
Crazy.
It's wild. Yeah. So that's what happened. And after that, obviously, we go and we get Carter Bryant again. And so what was interesting was Brian Wright came out afterwards and said, we're so glad he fell to us, because turns out we tried to move up in the draft so that we could go get Carter Bryant. Now, I said, that's really funny. I wonder how much of it is like how accurate that is. I mean, again, I love the guy and I wouldn't be completely surprised, but I wouldn't also be surprised if that was like a message that he wanted to kind of send subliminally to Carter Bryant just to make him feel good about, hey, we want you here. We loved you so much. But I was thinking also, imagine if we did move up to like 8 or 9 and Malawatch was still there.
I was going to say.
Would we have actually taken Carter Bryant, or would we have taken?
Yeah. I like how far high is he talking about trading up? Oh my God.
We're getting, come on. He fell out of the top 6, 7. He's there. We're making the move. At the 8th selection, the Spurs select Carter Bryant. And then, oh my, what? Well, another 6'6" guy.
That would have been crazy.
Oh my God. Our team already has 8'6" size. What are we doing? We need size. We need to back up center of the future. It's all good. That would have been crazy if we did it.
Yeah.
Maybe, thank God, I guess it didn't happen. But, and talking about the rest of the first round after, like, he was the guy. If you look at the first round, everyone taking after him, Kasparis fell. But other than that, some teams were taking crazy guys who are supposed to be in the second round, making some crazy picks. Old Portland having 4 centers on their squad now. Yep. That's pretty crazy. We got to love Carter. And at this point, looking at who went after him, we wouldn't want anyone else other than him.
I think the 2 names that come to mind for guys that went after Carter Bryant was the guy that went directly after him, Thomas Sorber out of Georgetown. He's the big time center. Been a lot of hype about him. A lot of people thought he might land good to the Spurs. The Thunder pick him up. So to me, that seems like he's going to go and sit behind or play behind Hartenstein for a couple of years.
Yep.
And when they've got to go pay Chet and give extensions to Williams and to Shea, they're going to say bye-bye Isaiah, and they're going to have Thomas Sorber on a crazy little rookie scale deal and just slide right in. So the Thunder got better. The other name, which was a crazy drop, was Rasheer Fleming, all the way down to pick 31 at the beginning of the second round today.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with Rasheer Fleming, but
people's top 2 at 14, not this podcast, but all over Spurs Twitter. Has to be Rasheer Fleming or Maxine Reynaud.
Yeah.
Buddy, 2 second-round picks. Can you imagine that overdraft?
God, no.
Thank God
no.
Who knows stuff were the ones making the picks. And,
Yep.
That would be
Yeah.
crazy overall.
Carter Bryant. Here's a list of names from various sources for NBA player comparisons for Carter Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
Yahoo had Jeff Green and Trey Murphy III.
Love it.
Draft Room had TJ, like a TJ Warren plus, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Bleacher Report had Marcus Morris,
Okay.
NBA champion. The Ringer had a list of names including Jordan Walsh, Marvin Williams, longtime vet with the Hawks, Tumani Kamara, breakout defensive stud for Portland last year, Aaron Gordon, NBA champion, and Tari Eason down in Houston. Even if you just meld all these names together, that gives you a sense of the type of player that we got, at least from play style. But guys, I don't know how much tape y'all watched today, but I spent a good chunk of time after work today just looking at highlights from the NCAA tournament, from the regular season, from everything. And I could not be more excited about Carter Bryant being a San Antonio Spur.
100%.
This kid's a stud, dude.
There's been videos coming out of him where he's on like the bench. I guess he was mic'd up on the bench, college, high school, whenever it was. And he's like, "Oh man, I just love being out on the court. Top two things I like to do: pass the ball and play defense." So that Spurs written all over it.
Man,
we need that. And by the way, that's exactly so I'm glad we picked there for that reason, that specific reason. That's exactly what we needed. Exactly what we needed. We don't need any more people who need to have the ball in their hands to make something happen. We want somebody who's going to be completely unselfish, who's going to knock down a shot and shoot a shot if he's open. He's not going to hesitate, but it's just not going to be afraid to do the dirty stuff. And again, I know Brian has been trying to build out this team where it's a bunch of versatility. You can switch. Doesn't matter. You can have your whatever 3 or your number 1 guarding your 4 or 5 on the defensive end, and just trying to create just mismatches on offense. I mean, so perfect build out. I love the move, and talk more about his highlights if you want, but
yeah, talk about an NBA frame, guys. He's 6'6.5" barefoot, so he's going to be about 6'8" in shoes, with a 7-foot wingspan, and an 8-foot 10-inch standing reach. 215 pounds. He's got crazy bounce. You go look at his highlights. He does not shoot layups. He dunks that thing.
He does.
One hand, left hand, right hand, 2 hands, alley-oop passes, 1 leg, 2 legs, posters, breakaways, through traffic, whatever it is. This kid is finishing at the rim with authority. But on top of that, the offensive end, his catch and shoot 3-pointing was incredible. The things that I noticed, he has zero hesitation. Catch and shoot. He moves well without the ball. And it doesn't matter if he's wide open or if there's a guy closing out tough. He's got such length and a high release point. That shot is getting off easily, and he shoots it with confidence. 37% from the 3-point line last year at Arizona, which is really, really impressive. The combination of no hesitation, that confidence, and the high release point makes it really tough to defend, and a good outlet for guys like Harper and Fox and Castle on those penetration drives to find this kid on the outside. And he's not shooting just from one spot. I saw him making multiple shots from both corners, from both wings. It's impressive stuff, man. His catch and shoot ability.
It's all we needed. Exactly what we needed at that pick. If it wasn't going to be a 7-footer, had to be that 3 and D. Had to.
Yep. And my 2 things were this. I said, number 1, this is my early take and early prediction. I think just because of who he is, and I think the person that he is, I don't know, just kind of what I feel. He's going to beat out some guys on the team for sure for PT. I'm talking like, don't be surprised if Devin sits early in the year, if he's being inconsistent, being Devin Vassell still, and he's just going out and just playing defense and getting scrappy buckets and knocking down an open shot or 2. I bet you he grabs minutes there, or maybe a Julian Champagny if he's off or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I really do believe that he gets way more PT than we think he will.
That might not be, never mind.
It's not like a hot take, but I do think that we see it. And the second thing is, I love that he's going to have a Harrison Barnes to have him and be his mentor sort of for the year. Yeah. Harrison Barnes, obviously the consummate pro. He shows up. He knows what it looks like to literally do his job every single night. Mm-hmm. And he's got all these tricks of the trade. He's learned all this stuff. I think that'll really help cut his learning curve in half. Just by having basically a guy of the same body, same build, same height. I would love to just see him rub off on Carter Bryant. That's going to be great. So that's my 2 things.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
The other stuff that I noticed with Carter Bryant is on the defensive end of the floor. Kid is a menace. Again, that length comes into play. What really stood out to me, though, aside from just like making rotations and stuff, was his timing. Like he would make some probably overly aggressive closeouts. Guys would shot fake him and come past, but he's blocking like he would then just turn and he's blocking these jump shots with like just instinctually putting his hand up and getting a fingertip on the ball and blocking jump shots. He's taking guys off the dribble, chesting them up. They're trying to, take a step back. He's long enough to go and tip that jump shot too. He's a good help defender at the rim. Guys are getting back cuts. Their other, his teammates getting lost. He's in help position, swatting balls away from the rim. He's blocking dunks. He's blocking finishes from postmen. He's switching on to postmen in the block and, affecting their shots. It's really, really impressive, his like instincts and timing down there. And like my favorite thing, defensive end. He's got somebody coming at him. He's at the rim. He is so good getting vertical and jumping A to A, not turning his body, nothing. And he just hangs. And when that guy finally is like coming down and has to shoot it, that's when he finally extends and taps that ball out. And that Ozona was off and running. It was sick.
All those reasons you just said, that's why coaches love that shit. That's why you think he'll get on the floor this season. Yeah. That's the only ways to get on the floor this season. We have guys who can get hot, hitting a couple threes. Keldon, Devin, Julian can go 4 for 4 from three. But that right there, when Devin's getting beat on the defense, which we always bitch about, Keldon can't guard shit. It's when someone like that can come in. Hey, man, if you knock down a 3 or 2 while you're in the game, that's great. That's the plus. But go lock up this guy. It's being tenacious. That's what coaches love. Go get 2 boards that Devin wouldn't have got. Go dive on the floor. When's Devin diving on the floor? That's what's going to get him on the floor. And if he starts showing that in practice and minicamp early on, he's locking up. I want him on Devin. That should be the matchup all training camp if Devin's still around. But like, I want him locking people up, getting in their faces. We need all that. Reagan, you love. Show us some nasty. That's what we need. We need that locking up. That's how he's going to get on the floor. We have guys who can be streaky shooters. He ain't going to come in. He's probably not going to shoot 38% his first year like he did in college or whatever. But if he's getting real PT, 10 to 20 minutes, even a game, it's because we're going to need him in there, locking people up, getting boards, all that stuff that we love to watch.
Yeah, bro. I couldn't agree with more of these. Think about the potential defensive lineup that we could run out there. Not necessarily starting, but when you see a lineup of Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, Carter Bryant, Jeremy Sohan, and Wemby.
I don't know if Dylan's some lockup guy, but he's at least 6'6" and 6'11" wings. Like if he can stay and just get deflections, fill lanes, all that stuff. That's good. I don't know if he's some on-ball lockup defender, but just that length in general, man. Oh my God,
I don't think he's some lockup guy, but like you said, just out of athleticism and length and instincts, flying around with Castle and Sohan and Bryant and Wemby at the rim. Like talk about versatile, switch everything. Recover, help, just be menace, like that Thunder-esque defense we just saw in the finals win a championship. That's the same kind of tenacity I think that lineup could have. I'm really excited about the defense. Y'all know me. I'm a defensive guy. I'm excited about the defensive side.
I was about to say, so Spurs bros, whoever's listening, you can tell that we are back. We are back in the exciting mode. We're back in the optimistic.
We're back excited.
Again.
We cannot say the draft's over. We're a top 6 team in the West. We aren't there yet. We have all summer still to do that. And if we make a couple right moves, we can make a couple trades, whatever. Free agency hits us up well. We could be there. But right now, realistically, we're still 8 to 10 range, which would be a play-in spot. There's still a lot of good teams in the West. The West is super tough. 2 19-year-olds aren't going to change that. But we're in the right direction for sure.
Unless.
You never know. Hey,
unless they do.
Exactly.
I don't know. Me and Alec are saying Spurs are back, and you're kind of bringing us down to earth a little bit because all 3 of us agreed less than a few weeks ago that 2 19-year-olds, 2 18, 19-year-olds is not like what we ultimately wanted to do. We were still wanting to trade away one of these 2 picks, probably 14, to go get a proven NBA player. That said, I don't think we expected a guy like Carter Bryant to be available at 14 for us. So the fact that he is and that we got him is affecting our mood and our excitement right now. But you're right. There's still a very big need, which is a backup center. And probably more wing depth in the sense of a veteran. So, do you guys have any names on your list for who to go out and get either in free agency or via trade for that backup center spot?
So no, backup center, I'm still scratching my head a little bit, I'll be honest. But as far as again, I still love the idea of a Cam Johnson, perfect 3 and D. That's literally what we need. We need more shooting to space the floor. We need more defense, long wing, like one more of those guys, and then yes, we need a big. And I know Reagan, you were talking about in our group message that with Phoenix acquiring Mark
Mark
Williams
Williams.
and they just drafted a
Sort.
big.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that brings their
Nick
in
Richards.
play. Yeah, Nick Richards in play. So I mean, is that somebody that you are interested in?
Hell
Or
yes. That's a name that I wanted us to go get at the trade deadline. I think I brought it up on the pod back in
yes.
February. But Nick Richards is a guy that was on the block in February. Phoenix went out and traded several picks to go and get him. But then, like you said, they went and traded for Mark Williams right after they made the pick to draft Kaman Malawash. So now they've got three potential starting centers. Does not make sense. Feels like Matt Ishbia and the general manager were not on the same page because the draft pick and the trade were announced like within minutes of each other. Something was off, funky there. But that to me opens up the idea of Nick Richards, and the Suns are going to need some wing scoring. I know they have all these guards and all these centers, but they need some like filler people. So that's a target for me via trade.
Or last
People
night
are,
for me was all kind of Brook Lopez. If we want like a guy who can
yeah,
hit threes in our backup group, space the floor, still rim protect. He's older now, obviously.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what he's gonna be going for, but I'd prefer not to give him like 20, 25 million. I mean, he's
No
pretty old.
way.
But at
I
that
don't
point in
think
his career, he's probably earned that he's a champion, all that. He'll be looking for that, and the Lakers might throw that shit to him. So, but he's up there. Luke Cornett, we'll see how much the Celtics offer him. He's still young, like he kind of has Spurs written all over him. And then you're talking about Phoenix having three centers. Shoot, Portland went and drafted their fourth center last night in the first round. Well, I kind of
yeah,
alluded to earlier, over drafting a guy who they could have gone the second round easy, and they took him at the 18th pick, I think, 16th,
yep,
whatever it was.
18.
Completely overdrafted. Now they got four centers on their team. They got Aiton,
Yep.
Klingon, who they drafted in the top 10 last year. Now this young Chinese guy, I'm sure will be in the G League, obviously. And then they have
Rob Williams.
Williams on the team. So, I mean, they should for sure be selling at least one or two of those guys. I mean, Klingon would probably be a haul, but imagine Klingon just being the backup center as a 20-year-old,
Pairing
set,
back up.
Yeah.
bring back up
I
with
think the price on Klingon is going to
even
be
it would be a lot of firsts for sure.
yeah.
But even Rob Will, he has injury history for sure. But I mean, athletic
But
is
that was as a starting center, right? Like he started for the Celtics when he was
all
getting
we're
injured.
looking for from any of these guys. 20
15
minutes,
minutes.
15,
Yeah.
20 a night. Go get 7 boards, hold down. Let's not be down by 15 by the time Wemby comes back in, like we saw all last year. Just hold down the fort,
Yes.
get a couple blocks, get 6 points off and once.
Don't foul out in 12 minutes of play. Yeah.
It's all we
Yeah.
need from you. So we're kind of glad in the end we didn't get Kristaps because like 30 mil, that's the role we need. We're gonna pay 30 mil for someone to play 20 minutes a night. Kind of would have sucked. Would have been a fun, like, think about him and one be on the court together, even as a backup. But yeah, I like those guys we just talked about. If we got any of those guys, that would be a solid backup center spot.
So whatever happened to Charles Bassey, guys? I'm sure that's a question that we're going to start getting because we're focusing on this spot. But
I'm
I mean,
sticking
he's recovering from injury. Are we cool with him? Do we want to move on, upgrade? What do you want to do?
sticking with the Bassey is our backup center. We're not a winning organization. We're not a winning team. We're not a playoff team by any means.
We're not serious.
6'9" Charles Bassey being our backup center. And we saw it many times last year. He can be that third center come in when someone's screwing up. He's a great spark. He's worth that $3 million we pay him a year.
Yes.
Great spark. Come in. He gets some blocks. $2 million, even better. But
yeah.
But like that's what he's worth, and that's not a backup. Like we aren't a successful team if we have 6'9" Charles Bassey getting 20 minutes night in and night out.
That's my thing for sure as well. I mean, I think again, I know RC Buford, that was kind of like his project a little bit. It seemed like, right? I mean, all the way
San
back
Antonio guy.
Yeah, San Antonio,
Rodman,
San Anthony's, all that whole thing. And we gave him a run. I like him a lot. I really do.
On the team, yeah.
I would love to keep him on the team. Obviously undersized, but long arms, and we always underestimate how well he can get to shots.
Athletic,
And his second jump on shots too. Like he'll jump and off an up fake, and he'll get right back up and block shot. Like he's great at all that stuff, but it's just this talent is just not quite there yet, or not even yet, maybe ever. And so I think, we need somebody else. And so I think, like you said, if somebody else is down, and maybe you play him at a 4 and like have somebody else at a 5 who can, like, I don't know, do both. It's sort of like a long
Jeremy gets in foul trouble, Manu's hurt, whatever. But yeah,
sure,
he's a great spark guy for sure. 10 minutes here and there,
like
a night, whatever. Not even play every night, but get in the game on down nights, whatever.
That, but
realistically, we're gonna sit Wemby probably. We'll probably play Wemby like 63 games this year just to get him his perfect where he can get.
Well, 65 is the minimum, but yeah.
Oh, 62. Okay, so yeah, we'll pay him 66 games, whatever. Whatever the minimum is, that's exactly how much we're going to play Wemby so he can get his awards. We're not playing him 82 even if he's healthy. So yeah, those other games, we're going to need spark guys. We're going to need someone come in tonight. This is why we pay you $2 million a year.
And games with like against teams that had like you were seeing more of these dual big lineups that's kind of coming back, and where they're playing a traditional power forward and center. You look at the Bucks. You look at there's a lot of teams that have been employing kind of these 2 7-foot lineups, and having a Charles Bassey as that third guy is a good stopgap on nights where Wemby's out or something's not going right, and we just need to match up bigger. So if we re-sign him for $2.5 million, cool.
Yeah. One a month squad cannot be the backup center on our team.
Yeah. Yep.
So and by the way, all that starts within the next few days. We're recording on a Thursday night. We have a weekend and a day, and then it's already into free agency. So I mean, stuff's going to be exciting. I mean, we thought this past week was exciting. I think next week was also going to be jam-packed because of all the news and all the shams and all the media's going to be popping off. So,
and Spurs historically kind of wait around, see what the market's like for people. We kind of don't have we need a backup center. We need a backup center. We can't wait around and see how much Luke Cornett's going to go in for, how much Brook Lopez. Oh, we don't want to pay. Like, we got to be a little aggressive. We cannot not get a center that we didn't.
Yeah.
So we have to be aggressive, and if we have to, if that's the only move we're making, it won't be a great summer if we're just getting 2 19-year-olds and one backup center, but he better be a damn good one. If it's Naz Reid, that's the only move we can make all summer, then all right, at least we got Naz Reid, we'll probably have to throw him a bag. But, I mean, we got to be a little aggressive. So hopefully we start seeing Shams between Spurs stuff come Monday and Tuesday early on.
Need that. Yep. Need that. Yeah, for sure. Last thing that I had for the draft is, I think we're talking about Spurs are back. Race for Saints is here again. All this stuff, new energy, new people. Our young core is here. We've got Bryant. We've got Harper, Castle. Even Fox is 27, but we've got Wemby and Sohan and Vassell and Johnson all under the age of 27. But just the extra cherry on top, our 2 first-round draft picks. Harper is wearing number 2. And Carter Bryant is wearing number 11. Last 2 guys to wear those 2 numbers was Kawhi Leonard and Josh Primo. So we are ridding ourselves of the last bit of toxic waste from the last decade, and we are officially turning a new page in the history of the Spurs. And I could not be I am through the roof excited about both these guys. I feel like we talked more about Carter Bryant than we did Dylan Harper, but it's just that's only because we've known Dylan Harper is going to be a thing for so long.
Yep. Yeah.
I completely agree. I'm all into the superstition thing too, man. There's something there, like a little bad juju or energy left, man. Yeah, you're right. Just turn in a new leaf. Let's get this thing.
Boy, Gonzo.
Oh my.
Out the window. We've moved on officially.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh man. I can hear a couple bleeps coming our way. Only other thing with Harper is I saw Manu congratulated Harper on coming to the Spurs, and his dad Ron responded and said, "Would love for you to take some time with my son. Happy to be that he's in San Antonio." And I think Alec, you said this last week, and I was like, "Oh, that's a great take." That Manu 6'6" lefty, Harper 6'6" lefty guards that it should be the perfect matchup, especially if Harper's going to come off the bench for any amount of games this season.
Both crafty, dude. Imagine if you learn, again, we know that what Dylan Harper can do coming off of the screen, splitting the gap and getting here and reverse pivot, this, that. But like imagine Manu, like Manu was the best probably in the world at using angles, like just attack
Yes.
like literally geometry using specific angles, looking like he's going. Everyone knows he's going back left, but you just don't know when. He'll be dribbling with his left hand, going right, and then just come back and just perfect angle right to the basket. Like imagine he learns that. Oh my gosh, that's easily a 16 points a game in his first year, I think. If he learned anything. I think so. I think so.
That'd be good.
I can see that. I can
Yeah.
see that.
We're hoping that.
Just like learning his craftiness, just how he just sees the game and just like sees parts and points on the floor. I mean, I think it makes so much sense. Yeah. So
We'll assume he's going to be getting 28, 30, 32 minutes a night. So
yep.
if he's putting up 15, if your average is 15 for a rookie, we will very much take that.
Yep.
Did we talk about Sean Sweeney last week?
We did not.
No, I think
We
it
should-
happened.
Okay.
We're the week.
All right. So clean up. Sean Sweeney has been an assistant coach with the Mavericks for the last, I don't know how many years, but highly regarded, highly touted assistant coach in the NBA. He's been up for head coaching jobs the last few hiring cycles. He's been known to develop Giannis. He's been, a part of developing Luka Doncic in Dallas while he was still there. But the Spurs went out. Mitch Johnson went out and stole Sweeney out from under Dallas, hired him as the Spurs associate head coach, aka the lead assistant coach on the bench. He's going to be basically in charge of the defense. I didn't know much about him before this happened, but doing some research over the last week, Sean Sweeney is again, highly, highly regarded as a defensive mind in the NBA. And what have we been so upset with for so long is our consistent defensive lapses. So hopefully this guy can come in and take care of the defense, let Mitch Johnson focus on the offense and the greater schemes. But that's a big, big get for that coaching staff.
And they didn't put a number to it, but it said we had to overpay and give him the title of associate head coach. So that showed how much we wanted him. And like you said, how highly regarded he is. So yeah, love that for sure. And just got the 3-and-D defensive wing, got Castle, Wemby. Let's hope he's going to have the scheme. So we're ready to see our defense.
I'm ready as well. Somebody else mentioned this on ESPN or whatever, but I thought about this as well. They just said it better than I thought about it, which was it's going to be perfect for him because of defensive first, see his schemes in action, but also he has enough of a canvas to play with, right? We're basically coming from we don't know what the hell we're doing on defense right now. To we're not expected to win right now, so he's not going to be in a hot seat per se. He still has some room and wiggle room to see something long term, build out a whole playbook basically for us long term, which I completely agree with. So that's going to be great.
Mitch's first year. It'll be his first year.
Yeah.
Still a lot of young guys on the team. Yeah, we'll fly under the radar, and if we can make a run, that'd be fantastic, but still not expected. So,
yep.
I think giving him that title and kind of the buzz around him and him being in charge of the defense, there's going to be an emphasis there. And I think that's going to put some more pressure on guys like Keldon and Devin, who have been in our system a long time and haven't shown the capability to play consistently well on that side of the floor. I think that's going to apply some pressure to the guys. Hey, it's time to step up. We went out and got this guy for a reason. Either figure out this new defensive system, or hey man, February is just a few months away, and you might be on the move if you can't get these rotations down.
Not straight up. It's Mitch's first year. We got a whole nother assistant coach that we brought in from, it was the Pacers, was it? So we got new guys coming in that they were probably real comfortable with Brett Brown, Pop, kind of.
Yeah.
They might have maybe in them the past couple of years. Yeah, it's just we got new young guys coming in. They're fired up. They want to win quick. Hopefully it's just a whole different vibe in the Rock from here on out,
Trying to make a name for themselves, these coaches.
Yep. Yeah.
I think it will be. And I'm really excited about it, man.
Yeah, I'm hyped up, fellas.
And then last thing, we'll touch more on this next week, but in 2 weeks, we've got already Spurs summer ball, July 10th.
And they're both playing. That was announced today.
Ooh,
they're both playing.
Oh, I missed it.
Dylan,
they are? Both of them?
Both of them are playing in summer league.
Let's go.
Ooh, man, that's going to be like must-see TV. Out
Might
of all the
be
summer
might be
league
the first
teams.
2 games, like Wemby was or whatever. But hey,
Yeah.
see him at least 1 or 2 games.
Yep.
Wemby got cut short because he got that ankle injury
Yeah,
too. So I think he wanted to play more. But
I don't remember.
yeah, I would
Did
expect
Stephon
these
play all
guys.
summer last year? Did he play all of them, or did we cut him short too?
I don't know, actually.
I don't remember.
I
But
don't remember.
either way, well, at least a couple games. It's been known. Brian came out today and said they're both playing in summer league, so we'll see him soon.
Beautiful.
Hey, last thing from Wemby Muse, the wingspans of the Spurs core.
Yep.
8 foot Wemby, 7 feet Sohan, 7 feet Bryant, 6'10 Harper, 6'10 Vassell, 6'9 Johnson, 6'9 Castle, 6'6 Fox.
It's beautiful.
That's some length, fellas. Again, that defensive side.
And imagine just one more big, man. Just one more big.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah.
Legit 7 feet.
Good stuff, man. Anything
That's
else?
a success. I'm done. I don't have anything else, man. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm ready to go.
Me too, man. Me too. It's going to be exciting to see. I can't wait for Summer League and then everything from now up until next year. Next season.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Y'all leave if you're watching this, leave comments below here. Let us know what you thought about the Spurs picks, especially at 14 with Carter Bryant, and drop your ideas for who you think we should go get in the free agency market starting on next Monday. That's all we got, fellas.
Sure.
From the Spurs Bros. Go Spurs, go.